Now, conservatives love to use the example of a slippery slope. They love the slippery slope argument, especially when it comes to protections for LGBT people. Now, recently, Indiana and Arkansas passed the so-called Religious Freedom Restoration Acts, which were actually just a way for them to be able to discriminate against gay people. Well, they backtracked after some huge backlash and amended those Religious Freedom Restoration Act bills to where they actually put in some protections for LGBT people when it comes to discrimination. Now, conservatives arguably, or I should say conservatives argued that this was unnecessary and would lead to more discrimination. Now, this is a fascinating argument, and they like to bring up, like I said, the slippery slope of, okay, so what if you have a bakery that is not Christian-owned, or it's a gay bakery, whatever, and you have someone, a Christian, for example, coming in to get a cake that says something like homosexuality is sin, or some sort of Bible verse from Leviticus, or the other one in the Bible, Psalm 45:7, God hates sin, homosexuality is a detestable sin. Stuff like that. If you want to get that in your cake, and somebody says no, obviously, conservatives will call that discriminatory. You can't deny me a cake. Well, this actually happened in Colorado. Now, on April 4th, the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, which is a protection commission, consumer protection commission, ruled that the owner of a Denver bakery did not discriminate against a Christian customer when she refused to make him 2 cakes with anti-gay messages on it. Now, according to the Washington Post, bakery owner Marjorie Silva refused to make a cake for a customer who asked that the cake be decorated with the biblical verses, God hates sin and homosexuality is a detestable sin. One from Leviticus, the other from Psalms 45:7. The customer, of course, said, I'm being discriminated against, filed a complaint with the state, and he lost. He wasn't being discriminated against. And let me tell you why. Now, not Christians, but I should say right-wing conservatives who are all on board with the RFRA, not all of them are, but the ones who are on board, trotted this out as, well, you're discriminating against me, my religion. Now, odds are, and here's where it kind of falls apart, odds are that if you just ask for a cake, a regular cake, whatever, or you're going to put a Bible on it, something like that, Marjorie Silva would have made that cake. This is much, much different than the flower shop or the example of a bakery not making a cake for a gay wedding. And the difference is that the anti-gay baker won't make you a cake at all because it's against their religion. Whereas this baker says, look, I'm not going to put homophobic messages on your cakes. If you ask me for a normal cake, I'd be happy to serve you. But these cakes are hateful and they're discriminatory in themselves. Doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense when you try to call that other situation discrimination based on religion. It's not. It's based on your messages are pretty offensive to most people. Your messages kind of suck. Get rid of the hatred, and I'll be happy to make you a cake, or at least, I'll bake you a cake. But if you want to write hateful messages on your own when you get home, that's fine. Do whatever. Just don't make me write hateful messages. I agree with that. I do. And this is something that conservatives were after me on Twitter the other day about, as well. About the whole, and as well as about the whole Muslim bakery. And I kept getting this example, this I guess, straw man of this very same situation. What would you do? It's discrimination. No, it's not. I don't think you understand what the word discrimination means when it comes to, based on religion and sexuality. You can't discriminate against someone based on sexuality. You can, however, say, I'm not going to serve you if you're an ass. And that's exactly what this cake owner, this bakery, was doing. Now, Eugene Volokh, which is a First Amendment scholar and founder of the Washington Post Libertarian Volokh Conspiracy blog, explained why this analogy, he also chimed in why this analogy is wrong. Refusing to serve a customer over a political disagreement isn't the same as discriminating on the basis of religion or membership in any protected class, such as sexual orientation. Sexual orientation in Washington is a protected class. You can't discriminate against them just because they're gay. But you can say, like, for example, if that same gay person decides, I want to write straight people are horrible, right? Or, straight people are the devil or whatever. I'm pretty sure that cake owner has the right to say, I'm not going to put that on your cake, dude. It has nothing to do with you being gay. I'll still serve you, but I'm not going to write that on your fucking cake. That's ridiculous. And that is also discriminatory, and it's also inflammatory. These cakes weren't meant for consumption. These cakes were meant as something inflammatory. That's the whole point behind this. That was the whole point behind this guy going to this cake shop and saying, I want these cakes with anti-gay messages. You're not going to serve it at a party. You might not even serve it at your church. Maybe. That's a possibility. But odds are you were doing it to make a statement, a political statement. And to try and do like a gotcha thing. Didn't work. It's a hateful message. And it's not the same, because without that hateful message, that person would be more than happy to serve you a cake. It's not the same as saying, I won't serve you at all because of who you are. It's different. And I wish more people would understand that. Not all things are equal.